It's not about me. It's not about you. It's not even about us. It's about legacy. It's about what we choose to leave behind for future generations. And that's why, for the next year, and for the first time since 1974, the best and brightest men and women of nations and corporations the world over will pool their resources, share their collective vision to leave behind a brighter future. It's not about us. Therefore, what I'm saying, if I'm saying anything, is welcome back.
The work of a single organization, the Syndicate. A rogue nation, trained to do what we do, imbued with a new sense of purpose.
The Syndicate, you say? Yes, sir. That's what he calls it.
Now, as you know, it's our custom when an event of tremendous significance occurs to try to get the people involved to appear on our show. That's not always possible, but it is tonight. You've all seen this headline, I'm sure. There it is in one of the local papers, and it's a headline that made America very proud, and we're very proud here to have with us this evening the executive officer of the USS Triton, and here he is. Your name? I'll go along. Congratulations, sir. Seriously, congratulations on your tremendous feat.
I said the congratulations was the only size A.
Never mind. No, I was specifically referring, sir,
okay,
to your going 36,000 miles in a submarine and staying underwater for, it was 84 days?
I won the war 84 days.
Well, how come you stayed underwater for 84 days?
I didn't want to come up before the submarine day.
84 days. That's an awfully long and amusing time. Seriously, though, no, it must have been murder being jammed in there together, all the men in those close quarters. Tell me, were your dispositions affected by the length of time underwater without an outlet for your emotions? Were your tempers aroused? Did you begin to hate your friends?
Well, just one time, during the third riot.
I see. Well, as an executive officer, sir, you must have a specific assignment.
No, I had the Atlantic assignment. That specific assignment, not an executive officer.
Never mind. No, I mean, what was your assignment exactly? What did you do?
I was on the night watch.
Night watch. I would imagine it's pretty difficult to distinguish night from day on a submarine.
Well, you know, a lot of people think that.
I see. Is it true?
Yes.
I see. Well, I'm going to get the people who are booking this show and talk to them about this. You were underwater for 84 days. What did you do for entertainment?
When we at the movie, we saw the movie Ben-Hur. He thought, too bad that we couldn't be underwater the one more day.
Why is that?
Then we could have seen the end of the movie.
I see. All right, one final question, Jose. In those 84 days, sir, if you'll pardon me, in those 84 days you were submerged, did you have any mechanical trouble?
In the 84 days that we were submerged, we had one kind of mechanical trouble that was with the ballast.
Ballast?
Relief valve that let you go back out to the surface.
I see. Had trouble with that valve. And how long did it take you to fix it?
83 days.
The Dudley Hinckley Butley Winkley report was the birth of Jose Jimenez, November
59.
1959.
Pat Harrington. So
Yeah. Pat was Chet Nutley or whatever, and the scene, we had a blackboard with a pasteboard covering whatever was on the blackboard. And to establish that a J sounds like an H, it said Jose Jimenez Instructor on the top of the board. And Pat said, we're here with an instructor in a school for Santa Clauses. What is your name and what do you teach Santa Claus? I said, my name, the early, I break up at this. My name, Jose Jimenez. And the audience laughed, and I remember thinking, this guy just said his name and these people are laughing. And then we cut away, I think, to something else, or I came back to, we're back here with instructor at Santa Claus School. What do you teach Santa Claus? I do the Santa Claus. I teach a Santa Claus to speak. So that was the first line. And what do you teach him to say? I teach him, then I expose J-O-J-O-J. I teach him to say ho, ho, ho. The stock line, the rest is gistery. But that was it. It was the most amazing B-movie type of thing because the phones started ringing. Who is this guy that wandered into the studio? They were so sure, you know, like on the Tonight Show, we'd have these, we call them left fielders, just to establish that a J sounds like an H. I mean, that you could see Jose Jimenez hear it. So the name just came out of, I'd been in Puerto, I mean, I knew Jimenez as a name and some family. The voice was just, that's the way this character sounded. So, would you believe this happened in 1947 at Emerson College? It was my first vacation. And a friend of mine, father was a colonel at Fort Brooke in San Juan, Puerto Rico. So I was there, and then we were at the yacht club, and we're talking to this guy. I said, "What do you do?" He said, "I am the Dutch representative." I said, "How nice, you with the Netherlands government?" No. I am the Dutch representative. I said, There's Holland, tulip bulbs. No, I'm the only Dutch representative. Dutch, Plymouth, Chrysler. That was a true story, and that story sustained the dialect. So when I stood, my name, Jose Jimenez, I was doing the Dutch, that replicating that guy's voice. Because it paralleled, me llamo Jose Jimenez is the rhythm. My name, Jose Jimenez, is the way this guy thought. I don't know whether history would have changed if I had said, my name is Jose Jimenez, probably would have changed it, because it's a delicate rhythm. My name, Jose Jimenez. It's like there was pride in that thing, and just lifting it and putting quotation marks around it.
When you wrote the opening words of your first novel, did you ever think that Morse would become so popular?
No. I thought, you know, it was very nice to think. I've written one crime novel, but I think that was all I ever hoped for, really. You know, there's an American girl, isn't there, Sue Grafton, and she writes A for alibi, and B for burglar, and C for cyanide, or whatever it is. And clearly she's thinking of what's she going to do when she gets to X and Y and Z, isn't she? But I never had that feeling at all. I just thought if I got through one, that when I'd written one and everybody said, well, he's trying, isn't he? He's trying his best, so they gave me a reasonable write-up. And so they said, if you could do another one, we'd be glad. So that's how it started. I never thought I would do more than one or two or three. But it kept being pushed a little bit, and the gods were on my side. You need a bit of luck in life, you know, if you're going to do well, don't you? Luck plays a far bigger part in life than most of us are prepared to admit. And the gods are smiling on me, really, from the word go.
And for your novels, did you research crime, or did you just use your imagination?
I never did any research at all, really. I used to know quite a lot of policemen, and I became quite friendly with quite a few of them. But I was never a researcher. I think only in one book did I go to the Thames Valley Police HQ, where Morse was a chief inspector, and talked to a man who'd been in charge of a particular crime in a book called The Way Through the Woods, where a young Swedish girl was murdered at the festival in Woodstock, the pop festival. It's the only time I really did any research. And if I did know anything about what happened on the scene of a murder, I mean, it was because I pinched it from what other people wrote in their crime books, you know. Said I know what colour the scene of crimes officers dress up in, but I never did any research myself, no.
You have many similarities with the character Morse. Is there anyone you based your characters on?
I think that unless you've got far more imagination than I have, I can't think outside myself. So I think most people, in a sense, if they've got a serious character, are going to be almost automatically going to reflect what they think, say in religious terms or political terms or enjoyment of music or poetry or whatever, booze or women. I think it very much is from yourself. I think it has to be, because at least you know yourself. So yeah, I'm quite like Morse in many ways.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you know what I missed? Yeah, a whole pocket I used to make.
How's everybody? We need to test, check for levels, everybody. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good morning, good evening. Okay, when you're ready, I guess we'll do it the usual way. I'll make a short statement and we'll be open for questions. And people seem to be so concerned about that. And also, I've just contacted Bergen Russell's office about setting up a worldwide boycott against the Olympic Games as long as America is participating in the games in Mexico if the war is still going on in Vietnam.
Any new recipes?
No, every night I go to bed, I see the hot dog parade, man, and it's, your mind play little funny games with you, with barbecued watermelon and stuff like that you dream about, but other than that, no.
Mr. Gregory, do you think this gesture is futile? Do you think it will really bring about what you want?
Well, I think it's putting a lot of pressure down, just some of the worldwide telegrams that I'm receiving. I guess I received over 1,500 letters the last time I was home and read the mail. And out of that, about 900 people said that they would not buy a new car in '68. I think if enough pressure comes down in the money areas, I think it will have a profound effect. Going from one end of the country to the other, I meet people that come up and say, you know, that I went one day with you. A man's not going to lie about one day, you know. And I think it has a tremendous effect. I've had soldiers, I've had people that's been in the war to come up and express their feelings, and more so than I thought it would be.
Could you state very briefly why you are against the war?
Well, I'm against all wars, but this war just happens to be a very immoral war. I think we follow the same path that Nazi Germany followed in the 30s, and I think if American conscience don't wake up and stop it, we're going to be in trouble.
How are you physically? How do you feel? Are you weak?
I had periods of off and on. Today is the 20th day, and today is the strongest day. Now, I don't know if this is because people have told me on the 20th day you do a complete change. I don't know. I don't know if it's mental or what, but I spoke at Yale University last night, and I held a meeting, and I finished up at 6 o'clock this morning, drove out and got on the plane, and I feel good.
When you don't feel good, what happens?
You just lay down in bed, that's all. But very seldom I've had days when I didn't feel good.
Are you sleeping? How do you sleep?
You don't sleep much during the fast because of the blood, tremendous amount of blood that's floating through the kidneys. The main thing during the fast is rest and not sleep. I haven't been able to get as much rest as I needed, but usually you have your back bothers you, and it's just a matter of getting off your feet and laying down.
How much water are you drinking a day?
Oh, about 6 pints a day.
Would you compare yourself to Mahatma Gandhi?
No, not at all.
I mean, in the fact that you are fasting.
Oh, maybe that, but there's a difference in complexion and.
He had an effect when he did it. Do you think you will?
I think this has a bigger effect here in America simply because more Americans die from overeating than undereating. I think in a country where a lot of people are not eating, I think the fast has the religious connotation. But I think here it has reached everybody simply because that we do live by our stomachs, and maybe our conscience is in our stomachs. It's not getting, I don't think it made anything other than the first day, but there's nobody in America that don't know about it, and this is the very interesting thing.
Well, you expected more, didn't you?
I expected more press in a way other than the East Coast. I know the government got a news blackout on me on there, which I've learned to live with that. But I didn't expect everybody in this country to be talking about it the way they are. I didn't expect a tremendous amount of college kids to go on fast. Matter of fact, I've had to intercede and get them to come off because they wanted to go for long, long periods. Word of mouth have really carried it. It's really surprising.
Do you think this will have a lasting effect on your health?
On my health?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have no idea.
Are you under a doctor's care at all?
No. Trying to prove that there are a lot of decent people in this country that's against war, trying to prove something that the Germans should have proved before that Nazi era took over.
How much have you lost? How much money have you lost in doing this, you know, in your entertainment part of your life, in what else you do?
Oh, I really couldn't say. Since I started, about $2 million, but it's...
$2 million? How much have you lost since you started the fast?
I haven't lost nothing since I started. I haven't missed one engagement since I started the fast.
You have been...
I've made every engagement, yeah.
Can you tell people in your audience about this, about your experience?
Oh, everybody knows. Everybody knows.
What do you say to them about it?
Well, I just tell them point blank, you know, that the main reason I'm on the fast is because I'm 35 years old. I'm too old to get drafted, And if I tried to volunteer with my political beliefs, the government would burn my draft card. And so the only way I can demonstrate a moral commitment to the young, beautiful kids in this country is by making this self-sacrifice. My hate mail reads different. I used to get letters say nigger this and nigger that. Now my hate mail reads, Dear Mr. Gregory, I'd like to inform you that last night for dinner I had, and then he goes on and talk about the menu.
I'd just like to say one final thing, that if this press conference doesn't end pretty soon, we're all going to miss lunch.
Very good. Fine. Anymore? For every 5 days you're on, you have to take 1 day of juice. Or, I guess that's the interesting thing about a fast, is after you get past the 8th day, you couldn't break it if you wanted to. Because the things that I would like to eat, I couldn't. Because after about 10 days, the stomach villas go to sleep. And you got to wake those up. And it's a very painful thing if you don't. The two important things about a fast, and I guess the thing that frightens everybody because they don't know it, is the beginning. You see, actually, I quit eating all food 6 days before Thanksgiving. And then you automatically just get on juice, which means up to the day I've never been hungry in my stomach, just in my attitude, my mind. And then when you come off, you do the same thing. I haven't had a headache. I haven't had no feelings. If you get up out of bed too quick, and a lot of people break a fast because they get dizzy and faint, it has nothing to do with you being hungry, that the fact that the blood is really being purified for the first time, and it just stays flushed in the liver and the kidneys, that if you get up with the blood in that position, you'll get dizzy and faint. It has nothing to do with food at all. If we can embarrass this country to the extent and enough pressure comes that will put enough pressure on various fashions in this country, that I think, if we had boycotted the 1936 Olympic Games, the Germans might have put enough pressure on Hitler. But, we got documentaries showing American soldiers cutting Viet Cong's ear off for souvenirs. And when you look at it, we really headed into that same path. And somewhere I think it'd have to stop. I'm not one of these that's pulling for the Viet Cong against the Americans. I feel sorry for every young man that have to be killed over there. And I think it's a useless war. I think it's a senseless war. I think we're playing games with ourselves. I think anybody in their right mind knows that Russia is financing the North Vietnamese. That's where they're getting their missiles from, their heavy equipment from, and yet and still, we still romancing the Russians. We bring the Russian ballet to this country. We just signed a pact for non-stop flights from Moscow to New York City, and I just don't see how you can play games like this when you know it is the Russian finance, the Russian missiles that's killing American boys, and if you can be this friendly with the Russians.
If you guys were as mean as you are ugly, then maybe you'd be trouble.
No, you duel with in the battle of good against evil. You must not look into the face of good.
If I am to capture good and defeat it, no. I do what is right for me, and everything else comes second. I choose to go into the book.
Okay.
Motherfucker.
You want to start again at the top of 7?
Yeah.
1 second.
I'm sorry, Earl. I thought it says voices. Are he doing that himself?
That blew you away.
I backed up.
Got me.
I was supposed to be one voice there? Or it says voices, What is that?
That's the ancient spirits.
Oh, he does that?
Yeah.
Oh, he does it alone, though.
Oh, ancient spirits of evil, come to me.
Destroy the book and key. Let the planet destruct. We will move on.
The clean-cut, wholesome show Happy Days made her a star. But after years out of the limelight, Erin Moran, who played Joni, has revealed the tortured secrets of her life on and off the screen. Bill McGowan has the story of this young woman's unhappy days.
Every week we welcome them into our homes. Richie, Fonzie, Potsy, Ralph, the Cunninghams, and Joni. But for Erin Moran, life behind the scenes of one of America's most beloved sitcoms was anything but happy days.
I put a happy face on all the time. While I was hurting very much, every day, every night. I still have nightmares. Still.
Once TV's favorite little sister, Erin was the only star to turn down the recent Happy Days reunion.
I would be lying saying how great it was, and it wasn't for me. And I didn't want to do that, and I didn't want to ruin the show in that way.
This is where the Happy Days sweetheart ended up, anonymous, in a rural California town just east of Los Angeles, but far from the Hollywood glitter and fame that can make stars or break them.
That's why I moved away. I left L.A. so I wouldn't lose this. I was losing my happiness and my love for life.
For 11 years, Erin played the perfect daughter in a perfect family. But off-screen, she claimed she lived a private hell.
My dad would hit my brother, and I'd walk in on a lot of the beating. And he'd have blood and everything, and he stopped doing it because the last time he did it, I screamed and I ran out because I couldn't handle it. And then my parents would come and watch the show, you know, and I just did the best I could.
And what about her TV family, the Cunninghams?
I wanted to be a part of that family, too. I always got sent up to my room, remember? Well, you gotta understand, that was just written as a character, but inside, it hurt. Because I took it personally, too.
Erin was barely 15, and co-star Scott Baio was just 14, when a real-life love affair grew between Joni and Chachi.
He came on to me, and we had sex. A lot. I was very much in love with him.
But Erin remembers when their love soured and she broke up with Scott.
He would constantly badger me and tell me how fat I was, and he would make me cry all the time.
Despite their 13-year age difference, Erin claims that sparks flew between her and Henry Winkler.
He hugged me and kissed me in such a way, and I went for it too, where we wanted to make love. And I was 14, and he was 27. And I pulled away, and he pulled away at the same time.
Estranged now from both families, Erin has turned her back on Hollywood and found happiness with her musician husband, Rocky.
I did the show for everyone else, the fans, the characters, the producers, everybody. Now I finally come first. I'm 31 years old, and now I come first.
But, James, I need you.
So does England.
Mr. Bond, I'm so glad I caught you. Your office called. They're sending a helicopter to pick you up. Some sort of emergency.
It usually is. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
The lady'll have a Bacardi on the rocks.
For the gentleman, vodka martini, shaken, not stirred.
Touche. I'm now aiming precisely at your groin. So speak or forever hold your peace.
Where's Peckish? Where's Peckish?
Pyramids!
What a helpful chap.
You missed, Mr. Bond.
Did I?
You left this with Ferrara, I believe. I prefer cash. A genuine Felix Leiter. Illuminating. I must say you become more beautiful every day.
I am over here.
Oh, of course you are.
Such a delicate touch.
Sheer magnetism, darling. How do you kill 5 hours in Rio if you don't samba?
Don't you like me?
Why, I think you're wonderful, Bibi, but I don't think your Uncle Harry would approve.
Him? He thinks I'm still a virgin.
Yes, well, you get your clothes on. and I'll buy you an ice cream.
Fill her up, please. You do know what the Queen of Cups means in an upside-down position? A deceitful, perverse woman, a liar, a cheat, and I'd like some answers now.
Please, you don't understand, Sid. They'll kill me if I do.
And I'll kill you if you don't.
But you couldn't. You wouldn't. Not after what we just done.
I certainly wouldn't have killed you before.
Oh, you're hurting my arm.
I'll break it unless you tell me where those bullets go.
No, I can't.
Try.
You'll kill me.
Who?
Ah! I can't tell you. Ah. Go, man, go.
You see what you can do when you try? When one is in Egypt, one should delve deeply into its treasures. I'm looking for Dr. Goodhead.
You just found her.
A woman? Forgive my curiosity, but what is that?
That's my little octopussy.
Welcome, sir. I'm Jenny Flex.
Of course you are.
I'm going to be completely useless to you.
Oh, sure we'll be able to lick you into shape.
Oh, Commander Bond.
Call me James. It's 5 days to Alaska.
It's that time before we leave. For lesson number 3.
Absolutely. There's no sense in going off half-cocked. What else?
When necessary, shared bodily warmth.
It's the part I like. Play it again, son.
500,000.
Only half? Where's your courage, Bunky?
Courage is no match for an unfriendly shoe, Countess. It's a charming tune. I see you're a woman of very few words.
What's there to say?
You slept well? A little restless, but I got off eventually. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned.
That's putting it mildly, 007.
He suggests the trade. The egg for your life.
Well, I'd heard the price of eggs was going up, but isn't that a little high?
James, that night in London when I was with the Bolshoi,
Ah, what a performance.
in my dressing room later, did you know I was an agent with orders to seduce you?
Why do you think I sent you 3 dozen red roses?
Now that was a performance.
Where's Kananga?
Well, he always did have an inflated opinion of himself. Miss Anders, I didn't recognize you with your clothes on. Take a giant step for mankind.
Where's Drax?
Oh, he had to fly.
And this for my brother.
And that's for 009.
Bond, what do you think you're doing?
Keeping the British end up, sir. My name's Bond. James Bond.